There we go. Okay, you got me now. Sorry about that. So here's what's going on with this cell. Again, potential waterspout just offshore of Bay County. It's moving towards the north and east. You see a good bit of lightning that flared up with it over the past hour. Had pretty much nothing going on, and then now a good bit of lightning. You've definitely seen the intensification. Doesn't mean it's going to produce a tornado when it finds its way up towards the coastline, but it's something we want to kind of watch for, much like that Mexico Beach tornado that we had just a few weeks ago. So we'll just continue to kind of track this as it moves up to the north and east, up towards the Bay County coastline. So if you're in Panama City Beach, you don't need to take shelter right now, but I would pay very close attention to this cell as it continues to move up. Okay, so you can see, if you look real carefully, you can definitely see right here, there's a little bit of a hook in there. Now, again, it wasn't showing up as clearly on the velocity data. Again, this is a waterspout. It's not necessarily, you know, a EF1 or EF2 tornado like we saw in Mexico Beach, but it is going to be something that we're going to want to watch as it continues to move up to the coast. You can see the lightning data here. We're looking at 10 strikes here in the last 15 minutes as it continues to slide up towards the coastline. And just a little while ago, there was absolutely nothing going on. Now, not to lose situational awareness, we do have some showers over towards Crestview, nothing in the way of any lightning there. We had a few showers move through Pensacola. Pensacola, you are now, I believe, out of the threat of seeing any storms. As you look kind of back here, right like there, and you can see that's our front and the shower activity pushing out in front of it. So I think honestly Pensacola's done, Montgomery's done, Birmingham's done as far as the thunderstorm activity. So it's basically, and we talked about this earlier if you watch Panhandle Weather Live, that there was a chance that Pensacola was going to get skipped by the thunderstorms, and then the line would kind of redevelop a little bit farther to the east and then push east throughout the overnight hours. And that seems to be what we've seen. That seems to be what we're seeing right now. Okay, let's see. Thank you very much, Tyler. We appreciate it. We are, let's see. Let's go ahead and bring up the comments here. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we got everything seems to be up and running. There we go. Okay, so we got the audio and everything. We're all good. But you can see how an hour ago we had no lightning, and then bang, lightning pops up, special marine warnings issued by the Weather Service, and we start to see at least the potential in there for a water spout. And because of the close proximity to the coastline, we'll have to watch this for the possibility of maybe a brief tornado warning. It doesn't look particularly strong, but it remains a possibility as it moves towards the coastline. Again, velocity not necessarily showing it, but if you look at, there was a brief, it was right out there, if you look real carefully, and then as it moved up here, it doesn't look quite as intense, but there was a brief period there that we had a little tighter rotation. It wasn't, I mean, by no means was it ever overly impressive, but you can definitely see as it moved up towards the coast. Now, let's go ahead and back this out. And let's go EVX. Let's do 1 hour shear. So again, this is our shear product that shows rotation in the atmosphere. And this is what it was showing out over across the Gulf. This is over the past hour. You can see just some very marginal shear out there over into the Gulf associated with it. And that's why they issued that special marine warning. But again, not really seeing that right now. So it will be something we just need to kind of keep an eye on here as it moves up toward the coastline. This is instantaneous shear. And again, you can kind of see as it was right there and then just kind of fizzles out. So I would, you know, I'm not overly concerned about it right now. You can definitely see the showers and thunderstorms that are approaching the coast. Now, here's the thing that's kind of lost in this is the possibility that you're going to get some very heavy rainfall here. This is going to be pretty torrential rainfall that's going to move into Lynn Haven, Panama City. And you notice it's going to kind of train over that area. And we talked about that earlier this evening, that there would be some places that maybe could pick up like a nice little swath of rainfall. But then obviously you come over here and, you know, we got a little bit of rainfall earlier. Or if you go over into Destin, you got almost no rainfall. So there'll definitely be some folks that, you know, don't see any rainfall. But at least in Panama City, east end of Panama City Beach, Panama City, Lynn Haven, you have that possibility for some very heavy rainfall continuing to move in, because it's just going to kind of train along that line. So it might be, you know, 30, 45, 50 minutes of really good rainfall that will certainly make your garden happy. And if we can do that and avoid a tornado warning, that would be absolutely fantastic. Again, as we look at velocity data, there was a signature right back there that was a little healthier, and you can see right now not particularly healthy, which, you know, obviously not complaining about that. And then we throw on the reflectivity data, and you see the lightning that we have out there now, looking at 7 strikes in the past 15 minutes. So not necessarily a ton of lightning in there. So hopefully, if you have the Panhandle Weather app, you probably noticed that you were getting some alerts with it. As far as that, when that lightning started popping, I know I got some, had some rain alerts as well, as I live out here, and we got a little bit of rainfall earlier. So hopefully, if you're in Panama City Beach, Lynn Haven, Panama City, you're getting some either lightning alerts or also the possibility of heavy rainfall alerts now coming to coming into the app there. What I did with the app is I did only kind of alert this area, kind of more or less Bay County and near the coastline here that we were going live. So we'll continue to, we'll do that so we don't necessarily send out push notifications to people that don't need to, especially because it's so late at night. So I made that choice to just kind of send it out to Bay County. If these storms hold together and move inland, we can go ahead and send out another push notification for those folks. But right now, it's just heavy rainfall. We got some lightning in there, and for a brief period of time, and that's why they have the special marine warning, there was a cell capable of producing a water spout. But we're not simply seeing that right now as it continues up to the coastline. And Dan, I see you on vMix there, so if you want to hop in, you are more than welcome to hop in whenever you want, and I can dial in and hear everything that you're saying. Meteorologist Dan Nyman is at his house over on the east end of Panama City, and he was having the forethought. Last thing he said to me was, I'm going to take a quick shower just in case things get squirrely, and he jinxed us, and things got a little squirrely there for a minute. I don't think, you know, I'm not sure if you were still in the shower, Dan, at the time, but we had sail offshore, all of a sudden start throwing lightning. There was a little bit of shear in there for a few minutes, and you can kind of see it right there, but it's pretty much gone away right now. If you look at the shear swath, you can see there was that brief window there inside the special marine warning where we had some rotation. The Weather Service now issuing a special weather statement that goes until 12:30 for Bay County. And let me go ahead and find, let's see, Weather Service says rotation is not as well defined, although it could wax and wane as it moves closer to the coast. We'll keep a special marine going and continue to monitor as it approaches. And we should here have let's see, they should have a special weather statement that they just issued here for Bay County and goes until 12:30. I was just looking for kind of the text of that as well. Let's see here. So right now, 5 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. Again, doesn't look particularly bad, but you know, the good news is we are getting some very heavy rainfall, you know, moving into Bay County and Panama City Beach. So that's some good news there. As a matter of fact, let's look into some of the cameras that we have down there. Okay, this is the days in camera. Ooh, did you see that flash there? Let's look at PCB East. It's kind of tough. This is at the Sandpiper Beacon. You can see there's a good bit of wave action out there. You have waves a little bit farther out, and then you have obviously the break at the coast. You can see the flag blowing around right there. This is the Sandpiper Beacon Resort. Let's go into Panama City. Okay, this one has nice light on it, so we probably should see here at least getting some rainfall into Panama City. It is just right now on the fringe, so it's raining real heavily. It's probably sprinkling a little bit here right now, but it is raining really heavily just north of there, of downtown Panama City. Some good rain, Panama City Beach, Grand Lagoon, Pretty Bayou now seeing some pretty good rainfall. So that's I think some good news there. And that's what we're saying, is that I think the potential is there because of the way this line is oriented, that we could pick up. It'll be a narrow swath, but at least some of the halves. There you go. That was a strike of lightning. The halves and there'll be at least a swath of halves that gets some pretty good rainfall out of this line as it continues to move on through. Let me put up here, let's see, radar. Let's see. Oop, I want to go. Let's see. Oh, I can't do that until I get rid of the camera. There we go. So now we can bring this up, and I wanted to show you guys radar, and we can do rain rate. So this is the rain rate right now, and this is if it rained for an hour. 6 inches an hour, 2 inches an hour, 4 inches an hour. So if it rained for an entire hour, which I don't think is going to be terribly likely, but because of this training effect here, you have that potential to get a good bit of rainfall, and that's what I was talking about in this kind of swath here through Lynn Haven and out into our coastal waters. It's just going to kind of travel in a line like this. And along that line, because you're seeing that band of rainfall, and again, it's not very wide. We're talking about, just a few miles wide, as a matter of fact, that in that swath, you could pick up a decent amount of rainfall. Okay, so this shows it right here. So if we look out in this swath, and again, you notice how thin it is. That's, almost 2 inches of rainfall offshore. Out of my place here, just, a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall. But it's in this swath right here that's moving up towards Lynn Haven, Pretty Bayou area, that I think we have some hope in that small area to pick upwards of over an inch of rainfall, maybe an inch and a half. But what you'll see, these are the rainfall totals. What did I select there? 12-hour rainfall totals there's a lot of folks that haven't seen anything and probably aren't going to see anything. But there are at least a few swaths of, some decent rainfall. And then especially where we had those big storms this evening, Andalusia, up towards Enterprise there in Alabama, those were some nasty thunderstorms. We have those rainfall totals that are up there over, 2 inches of rain, 2 to 3 inches of rainfall in a pretty good little swath right there. But as we bring it back here, you can see our heavy rain is just now approaching the coastline. It's about ready to move into Lynn Haven, Pretty Bayou, Breakfast Point. And again, what we were talking about with this is, there was, for a brief period, some rotation just offshore moving towards the coastline. Right now, we're not really seeing that with either of our velocity products. But right there it was. And it's still not to the coastline, like the general area that was when it spun up. You can see it's right there now, but not really showing anything in the way of any rotation.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
Jump in here for a second. There's no real good time to do it, but here I am.
You jinxed us.
I heard that. Unfortunately, I'm not taking the blame for that one. Nothing's happened yet. You can't blame me for something that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
mainly.
Go ahead.
I was mainly popping in here just to pull in a picture that was I have to make sure I keep my phone on. So this is from
Tyler?
downtown Panama City. Yes, this is from Tyler, looking kind of towards the southwest. So if you see some of those lights there, obviously an overexposed photo, so you can actually see some of the cloud bases. You're looking towards the lower Grand Lagoon area. There, you'd see St. Andrews State Park towards the left-hand side of the image. And there's certainly a lowering of the cloud bases over there, kind of consistent with maybe that waterspout feature that we saw a little bit further offshore. This is somewhat of an older image, but gives you a picture of maybe what was brewing out there. Kind of right now looks like maybe this storm becoming a little more outflow dominant, so potentially we're not going to see anything of the sorts with that lowering cloud base and the ability for it to tighten back up. But I thought it was interesting to see, at least, Chris, kind of what that structure looked like about 10, maybe 12 minutes ago, when things were looking a little bit better organized, and a sign at least of what is possible with this atmosphere. You know, you have the warmth and humidity and the opportunities there for something to get going. It just doesn't look all that optimistic if you were a thunderstorm right now, as far as being able to sustain any sort of activity. It certainly hasn't been the case for pretty much all of the activity through Alabama and Florida today.
No, yeah, it's most. I don't know. Did we have a tornado warning anywhere in Alabama today? Or just thunderstorm warnings?
I didn't get any alerts on my phone. I scrolled back through from the National Weather Service chat. I know there were a couple of those thunderstorm warnings. I think there was one in Coffee County as well. But close to home, outside of the tornado watch, again, showing that the atmosphere had the right conditions for something to happen, but didn't seem like anything really materialized from that close to us. You're pulling up here, it looks like up towards Birmingham and in towards northern Alabama, closer to where that slight risk was earlier on today, early afternoon hours. There were a couple of reports there. And then I did notice earlier today as well, west of Jackson, there were a couple of funnel clouds and maybe a tornado reported as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now in Hinds County. There was, we have a couple tornado reports there. But other than that, I mean, that's just about it. So we definitely, you know, not going down in the record books, but certainly something that we need to kind of pay at least some attention to when it comes.
I just got a report from my weather spotter, Chris. Hearing thunder now and saw lightning, which is ironic because 12 feet away I did not hear any of that thunder. Erroneous reports coming from the living room, I would say.
We're not going to be that mean. But you see this is the tan areas for a special weather statement, and that's just going to be for the lightning, gusty winds. Weather Service is pointing out what we were talking about, like some of those rainfall rates are impressive. At the PCB Sports Complex, they were reporting 4.5 inches of rain per hour. You know, and I don't anticipate it raining for an hour, but you know, when we go look at Doppler radar here, I mean, it is a thin band and it's just kind of moving in the same direction. So I think there is a swath from Lynn Haven to Panama City Beach that could pick up, you know, at least a couple inches of rainfall, perhaps. But you know, it's also important to note that the breadth or the width of that rain is literally maybe 5 miles or so wide.
I hear it now.
So
if I didn't have 8% battery, I would go walk out back and call in and be able to show you what was going on.
A few more sponsors will get you a new phone. Here's what's going on, rotation tracker, and this is what we were talking about. That was your little swath right there. I mean, when you compare that to what we saw in Mexico Beach, it's obviously hardly anything, but it does show where that rotation was offshore that prompted the special marine warning and the possibility of a water spout, and likely there was a water spout there briefly, but we're not seeing anything that's spinning right now. But you see there's some of that lightning that's right now the closest lightning Well, there's a strike over near Tyndall Air Force Base there, Redfish Point. And then the bulk of the lightning is right now kind of on the east end, Panama City Beach towards the Hathaway Bridge. There's a little bit of lightning up into the North Bay area as well. But in the big picture, it's 16 lightning strikes past 15 minutes. So it's, one strike every minute. It's not prolific by any stretch, but some good rainfall out there. Some more showers located south of Tyndall Air Force Base and out into the Gulf, and we can show the movement of that. All of this is moving kind of off to the kind of a little bit north of east.
Yeah, so I've heard it now. I've been accused of having my headphones in noise canceling mode. But right in that Highland Park regions where we're at, and you could hear a couple of rumbles off towards the distance right now. Alexis was asking how long things were expected to last, Chris. If you're in Bay County, you're probably looking at, for this specific storm, the storm of concern, maybe another 30 minutes. It's not a huge quick mover towards the east right now. You have a big southwesterly motion with the front pushing east, so that delays things a bit. But those cells that are back towards the west, maybe a second opportunity along I-10, looking towards maybe Ponce de Leon and then over towards Bonifay and Chipley, you could get some rain. Nothing impressive, though, with that cell as far as severe weather is concerned.
No. And like I was telling folks, I think Pensacola, Santa Rosa County, they're done. I think
we have the chance to use it.
You want to use it?
We could pull it up. Got the all clear for Escambia County.
Nice. Dan's been working on that the past couple days, and
I might even pull the trigger here.
Okay, so all the way over into Okaloosa County. So Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties, you are now clear of any kind of threat of severe weather.
Just check out the raw velocity again. I kind of hesitate to use it at this point because the shear tracker tool is just so fantastic, but it always is helpful to just get a brief view of what's going on here. And obviously, not seeing a whole lot of impressive returns coming from this storm. I doubt we're seeing any sort of hail within this one either. It almost looks like it's trying to... There's not much organization going on between what's offshore right now and then this little bit that's kind of moving up towards my neck of the woods in this direction, starting to pull off towards the north and east. And it really is surprising, Chris, to not see a whole lot else out in the Gulf trying to move this direction either.
Yeah.
Kind of one and done.
Yeah. I mean, this is the only game in town right now that's showing any kind of intensity with it. Even the south offshore, there's nothing out there. That's barely, much more than light to moderate rainfall. So it so happens that the one thunderstorm that pops up that's of any consequence is moving through the most populated part of at least the central panhandle.
So we'll take that lightning core, I think. That's probably where the storm might be the most unsettling from inside of your home as far as the noise and maybe a wind gust, but obviously nothing that would do any significant damage from what we're seeing right now. Your 20 to 25 mile an hour wind, maybe that could move around the siding. It sure does move around on my house, even when it gets 20 miles per hour. But we're looking at the Pretty Bayou area, about 12-14, so 6 minutes or so, you'll see
Did I lose Dan there for a minute? I may have lost. Oh, oh. I was wondering, Tyler, Okay, so Tyler just said power went out downtown. Lights are flashing at my house in Callaway. So that would kind of that would explain it. Yeah. Yeah, I am. Let's see. Let's see. I was. Okay. Well, I have, I went ahead, I used the Stream Deck and I have myself pulled up right now, but I can still hear you. I just don't have you up on the screen. But feel free to take control when you're back in. Let's see, Pretty Bayou at 12:12 or 12:14. Highland Park at 12:24. Cedar Grove at 12:24. Lynn Haven 12:24. And that's just more for that hail core. Obviously, it's already raining pretty heavily in those locations. That was more in reference to the lightning, if that lightning continued to propagate through the thunderstorm there. And one of the things that I doubt it's updated already, but let's take a look at power outages. Yeah, so okay. So the next 4 minutes. So you can see some of the power outages up around the Birmingham metro area. That was from those thunderstorms earlier. Let's see. Query 3,000 power outages up there in Birmingham. But we'll bring it back down here. You see the lightning right there. 17 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. And you see the heavy rainfall that we have going on from Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach. Let's bring up the camera in Panama City. It looks like some the heavier rain. There you go. We can at least see rain there on the lens of the camera. Visit Panama City right now. Wind obviously not bad, but ooh, there you go. That's another flash of lightning visible there. That we're seeing over into Panama City. But wind's not bad at all. We're just seeing some rainfall there on the lens of the camera there in Panama City right now. I visit Panama City. Then we have Lynn Haven, heavy rainfall up there towards the North Bay area. Deer Point Lake getting some much needed rainfall. So I know for most folks, this is absolutely a treat right now to be able to get see special marine warning that goes to 115, to be able to get this lucky and get a nice little swath of heavy rainfall, because the rest of our area has seen very little rainfall across our region. There are those showers that are moving from Okaloosa County over into Walton County. There's no lightning there, just some brief heavy rainfall that we're continuing to see there and then that we're continuing to see moving from Okaloosa County over towards towards Freeport. And then a few showers passing right now over 331. These showers are moving east. They could clip just south of Defuniak Springs, Rock Hill Road area between Defuniak Springs and Freeport. But I mean, that's the last batch there. As I mentioned, Pensacola, Santa Rosa County, and Okaloosa County. You're done with any kind of threat of severe weather. We'll keep an eye on Walton, but I mean, there's no lightning in that. It's just some rainfall. So really, any kind of threat of severe weather, ironically, is crossing right now through the day one severe weather outlook for a marginal risk, which legitimately was set right along just about 231. Rotation. Let's see. No, I didn't want that. No, I didn't want to have that. But the main threat from this is going to be damaging wind. Everything else is pretty low. Tornado threat, hail threat is pretty much non-existent. Obviously, well, you know, I tell you what, the flash flood threat, I mean, I don't think it's that high, but we are at least seeing some heavy rainfall over the same area and potentially getting multiple inches of rain. This is 6 hour, so the past 6 hours of rainfall. And you see most of our area has seen very little rainfall. That was a nasty thunderstorm over into Mobile that moved over into Baldwin County and then fizzled out. But you can see this nice swath right here. Yeah. Okay. So go to a 2-shot. Okay, call one. It's okay. There you are. We got you. Okay. So, oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Hey, Dan, I, hold on. Folks are saying they can't hear you. I just turned on mic 6 again. So can everyone hear Dan now? Okay. That wouldn't be that REM, would it? Okay. 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 So what you're seeing right now, this is Dan's house, or outside of Dan's house in Springfield. And you can't see a whole lot. It's pitch black, but occasionally you are seeing a flash of lightning. It was, oh, who was it said something a second ago? We had one of our viewers asked about the weather in Springfield, and right on cue, Dan was outside in Springfield. So that's some pretty, how's that? Service with a smile. Bayou George, Gracie Thrasher says it's storming there. Juliet's accusing Dan of causing all kinds of shenanigans tonight. Yeah, what Dan's telling me to tell y'all is that there's no wind at all, like not like even a breath of wind over there. Now it's raining heavily and there's lightning, but there's no wind right now, which yeah, we'll go. It's better than a lot of wind, and as long as you're getting the good rainfall, then that's in the end, that's all that matters. So, Ann says Dan's filming his own horror movie. Let's see. Yeah, they want cat cam. I did a Facebook Live earlier, and Tiggy was in Dan's chair, where Tiggy is right now. So, okay. Well, someone else mentioned that they were having internet issues as well. I think things were rebooting somewhere along the line when that power hit over in Bay County.
And we're back. See, I just had to stall. It was going to fix itself.
There you go. Power outages. So you can see there were some up into southern Alabama. We still don't have anything popping up here, but it could take a few minutes before that fills in.
Yeah, so the takeaway of my volumeless live shot, the easiest live shot I've ever done, turning a little cooler out already, rain cooled potentially, or already a little bit of a wind shift. We could pull up the winds, I think, here in a second. But the ultimate thing was, like, it's mainly lightning. It's making it seem like this storm's packing a punch, but my experience out there was very calm conditions outside of the power lines in the backyard trying to kill me. Wi-Fi took a little bit of a hit here with that brief power cut. I assume that was probably lightning induced. And you'll probably hear it now as this one starts to move over my neighborhood, nearby Transmitter Road in Panama City, Springfield sort of area.
Yeah, I've dropped, my dew point at my house has dropped from 73 down to 70.6. So it's dropped about, what was it, 70? Okay, so it's dropped about 2 degrees. The dew point's dropped at my house.
Yeah, we could actually pull that up here. So your front's taking its time. Still a fair ways back, kind of passing through Atlanta right now, and then starting to move through parts of New Orleans, basically paralleling 65. And the model dew point data that you're seeing might not be 100% lined up with what's actually being observed at the moment, but there's your front out ahead of it right now. We're still seeing your dew point temperatures right in that ballpark of 70, like Chris talked about. I think by my house it felt a little bit drier, but I'm not going to say I'm some weather savant that can notice the difference between 1 degree. At least we have forward to 4 tomorrow, dew point temperatures down into the 50s and then into the upper 40s, and then eventually, as we move the camera out, things are going to feel very different. I should be able to drag that over. So you have 33 on the way, and that's why fire danger, I think, was one of the things the National Weather Service talked about for Thursday and Friday. Bonfire, Thanksgiving bonfire. I don't know if that's a common tradition. It certainly wasn't in my house, but probably not a great idea given what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's going to be dry and windy, and the vast majority of us aren't going to have seen hardly any rainfall. As we mentioned, even in Bay County, the difference between the haves and have-nots is going to be pretty significant.
So I was just pulling this up here. Basically out of curiosity, because the storm had an interesting little structure forming once again offshore, but I did confirm a second ago that as far as the base velocity goes, we're not really seeing any signs of coherent rotation or really anything of concern is you get all these big dead zones and wind. That kind of is consistent with that lack of wind that was being felt outside 5 minutes or so ago. A lot of rainfall, though, starting to come down. I can hear it picking up a good amount on the roof. My grass is definitely happy at the moment. Let's see where I can find the quickest route to get to our rainfall rate. So there you see, I see a lot of chat messages popping in about the heavy rain, and that is certainly consistent with what we are seeing. Right now, as you get into these deeper pink colors, look towards the top of the screen. You might lose me again here in a second, Chris. That was a close one. 7.5 inches per hour. This is up in that Lynn Haven area. I think I pixel queried. That's probably up right near the Lynn Haven Walmart right now. Maybe just a little bit north of that. 7.5 inches per hour. It's to rain for an hour at that intensity. But if you were to maybe plan a late night run out on the roadways right now, you'd probably encounter some ponding on the roadways. Where I'm at currently, we'll pick a spot right here along 231 near transmitter. 4.5 inches per hour, still pretty impressive, almost summer-like rainfall rates coming down at the moment. And then that was all what we were experiencing back towards the Hathaway Bridge about 4 scans ago. So call it 6-8 minutes ago, you were seeing that back towards the bridge, down towards the port. Now it's down to 2 inches per hour, which is a little more consistent and kind of normal for thunderstorm activity here in Bay County. But if you're underneath that pink area that you're seeing on screen, that's pretty serious rainfall. Going to cause a lot to come down in a short period of time, and it's consistent as well with at least a slight increase in the lightning activity. That's now stretching up to 31, so that the lightning core of this one, Chris, has kind of moved it's almost like it jumped northward with this storm, and now we're seeing it up towards kind of the Titus Park area. You see
Bayou
I think
George,
20
or at least
Bayou
getting in the
George, right
ballpark.
around 2301. Yeah, a lot. Gracie's mentioning the internet went out, but it's back. Power went out for about 30 seconds. We did have, with that last lightning strike here in my neighborhood, a very brief dimming of the lights again. This time, though, the router survived, so I can continue with the coverage with Chris.
So Daniel's asking how much longer till it's done in Panama City, and it could be a little while longer, because of the fact that it's kind of raining over the same place, training, and so it take a little bit before this line can squall its way up to the north and east. So, I would say at least another half hour to even an hour potentially of seeing some rainfall across Bay County because this back edge of the showers, again, is moving to the generally just north of east. And so it's just, this rain out here still has to kind of pass through this same area.
Yeah, the rain's kind of moving along in this direction, but obviously the front that's pushing it, if we draw our little squall track here, is heading more so in this direction and not very quickly. Probably guesstimate that back towards 15 or 16 miles per hour. So, everybody's in North Springfield at least talking about the heavy rain, and anywhere north of 15th at the moment, you're really hearing some good thunder right now, and that's especially true as you get up towards Bayou George. But if you're in the other half of Springfield, south of 15th or 98, you're like, where is the rain?
Yeah.
Especially as you get down towards Callaway. You had it very briefly, and then you're going to find a break in the rainfall, and then there's going to be somewhat of an off and on nature to this as we move through the next 90 minutes potentially. Did you see that just popped in there, Chris?
Yes, yeah, that's what I was about ready to tell you, that they issued a flood advisory for Bay County until 2:30 this morning because of the heavy rainfall. So if we, let's see, we can probably put on the rainfall totals, or if we take off the radar, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But it's this green box right through here. That includes Lynn Haven, Panama City, Panama City Beach. I would say the Breakfast Point area on eastward on the beach, down to Redfish Point, and then over towards right on the fringe of Callaway and Parker.
Just trying to find an empty toolbar here. There we go.
There.
Okay, so what we have right here is that flood warning or flood advisory that Chris was talking about. Your special weather statement is this light tan color, so that's potentially where you could see some non-severe but potentially impactful strong thunderstorm activity. And then the special marine warning is still in effect right now. That's the deeper shade orange box. That has another 45 minutes on it for the potential for waterspouts offshore, although the one we were tracking seems to have fizzled out at this time. But definitely some good thunder boomers out there.
Yeah, and
there's another one that might have just gotten picked up by the mic.
And also, too, for the special marine warning, it's not only a waterspout, but also 35-knot winds. The threshold for severe over the marine waters is quite a bit lower than what it is over land areas.
Yeah, we're gonna hear some good stuff here, Chris. It definitely sounds like it.
So if you put let's put the rainfall totals, and yeah, or either the rainfall rate, and you can see that
accumulation.
If you can't, we can probably highlight it with the different color, the green box, so you can see it. And that's rainfall totals over the past hour. And again, we're looking at this green box right here. And that's where all the heavy rainfall is. And you can see that swath that was offshore, and it's continuing to rain. And so that yellow swath will just continue to kind of fill in here. And that's going to get us over, 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches of rainfall, potentially, with that swath just kind of moving up from the beach into town.
Pretty nice looking storm here offshore right now. It's at least the first time.
Oh, is that you? Or is that? I just, let's see. I don't think I lost anything here. But I definitely lost my monitor here. Hold on. We'll fire it back up here in a second. Joseph Eisen said quick power outages. Let's see, we're still streaming, right? I think we are. While we boot this back up. Okay, 12:32. Okay, yeah, it's still we're still on the stream, so that's good news. We're just booting up the touch screen here real quick, and we'll be off to the races here. That's okay. So there we go. We have everything up and running, I think. Let's see, we have radar. It's taking full screen right now, but you should still be able to still hear me. And I think Dan is still frozen. No, you're okay. We got it over on this end. This is the beauty of being in two different locations, is that we don't have to, when things go awry at one location, hopefully the other location works out pretty good. So we'll just bring me back up here at the touch board. And as we look over across our area. There we go. We continue to see the heavy rainfall. You see the lightning there, and that lightning is over kind of in the vicinity of where Dan is in Springfield, where the bulk of that lightning is. Now, it's not like a ton of lightning. We'll put on the lightning counter here. It's 20 strikes in the past 15 minutes, but it doesn't take but a few. Was that another lightning strike? But you can see all that lightning there, and then we have the heavy rainfall that's coming down, and that is, this is your flood advisory, which goes through Panama City Beach, includes Lynn Haven, and runs up to about Bayou George. And that's where we're seeing the heaviest, the rainfall in the order of several inches of rain per hour. Someone was asking about how long till the lightning clears Lynn Haven. It won't be too long. Now, that being said, I mean, there's still lightning out there. So while, let's say, the bulk of lightning is, the bulk of the lightning is kind of right here. There's still a strike here, here, here. There's one out on the beach. There's one out on the Gulf. So, you know, there's one south of Redfish Point there, out towards Shell Island. So, I mean, there's still individual strikes, but kind of that where we're seeing the most lightning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of the 18 strikes are kind of in that circle near Lynn Haven, but they are moving away from you to the north and east. Brandy said that was a big one. Heather says that was grumpy.
That was a big one.
See, I feel like I'm missing out on it.
We're having more fun on this side of the bridge.
Yeah. No water spouts was a question mark. There was a water spout. That's what prompted us to go live with the water spout offshore, but we're not seeing anything right now that would indicate that. But we'll bring it back over and we'll look at, let's look at velocity data. Storm relative, nothing. If we go to 1 hour shear, and you can see what kind of prompted it. That was almost an hour ago. It was this area out here. There was a little bit of shear. Now, when you compare that to, say, what we saw in Mexico Beach a few weeks ago, it's nothing, but it still picked up on some shear. And that would be enough for a very minor water spout offshore. So we decided to pop in because it was moving towards the coastline. But since that time, we haven't really seen any of the rotation kind of redevelop or anything like that. So, you know, which is a good thing. So right now it's lightning and heavy rainfall. And to be honest, if that's all we end up seeing out of this, then we've done pretty good because, you know, the rainfall is needed. It's needed for a lot more of us, but, you know, at least Bay County, your numbers came up lucky this time. And so you're getting your fair share of rainfall right now. You can see now, though, that the rain is taking a little bit more of an eastward turn or a right turn. If you look at the back edge of that rain, Dan, are you able to see anything?
So that's the last computer I haven't been able to get into, but I can see what you're seeing on the touchboard right now. And I was just getting into talking about what you circled when that strike took me off the stream there for about 5 minutes, but it started to show just a quick flash of purple in one of those scans. So that was a storm that was growing vertically a little more significantly than the others, better updraft than some of the other storms. And unfortunately, if you're watching at home, that's kind of an indicator that as that storm maybe starts to mature and become a bit more robust thunderstorm, it may be another round of lightning that you have to go through in the Cove or over towards Callaway, because this lightning right now, I mean, I'm a weather geek. I enjoy it. I understand for most people, though, it's unsettling, and you probably are not having a good time right now with what's going on outside, or at least the sounds that are happening.
Yeah, I'm a ways away from it, but there are a few strikes that are out there in that that batch that's moving east. Now that would mean though that like if you're up towards like Pier Park, Breakfast Point, you're about done with the rainfall. You know, because it's going to shut off. Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Fantastic.
Oh man.
That one was about 6 meters. It was like you could see the shadow of the light.
That enjoy. But we are seeing a little bit more lightning develop out here in the Gulf. So maybe that Dan's right about that it's intensifying. It is moving more east. It would, if it continues to move east, would pass near Panama City, Callaway, and Parker more so. You know, so.
I'm just pulling up a slice here really quickly, and we can do a little compare and contrast of maybe what's next up the road. Oh, so this is interesting, Chris. This is something I learned about last year. The purple oftentimes is a thunderstorm growing.
Okay.
I think there might be a potential for us to see. Let me pull that up full screen so you can see it better. So what we could be seeing is a low echo centroid. Effectively, as the radar scans, and sometimes scan over this, but in this case you're seeing this really tight and robust core of moisture towards the lower levels of the atmosphere. And this is often synonymous with a thunderstorm that produces some of the most impressive rainfall rates along the Gulf Coast in a very short period of time. So instead of seeing that purple core a little bit higher and the storm growing to about 30 or 40,000 feet, it's all concentrated real low in the atmosphere. And that basically is preventing your raindrops from having to freeze and then unfreeze and thaw out. This is just pure rainfall stored in the low levels of the atmosphere. And when that moves on shore, it is going to dump a lot of rain in a very short period of time.
That's fascinating. Very, very interesting.
That was a little thing I learned last year when we went through a similar sort of setup.
Imagine, look at that. Who knew that we were going to be able to see it again and drop some knowledge on some folks? You can see, you know, the rainfall is moving. We have more rain moving through Walton County, but there's no lightning up there at all. That's just some passing lightning. Nothing like what we're seeing in Bay County, which in the big picture isn't a lot, but it's definitely some loud thunder that we got out there this evening that's moving from the Gulf up through Panama City and along the 231 corridor this evening.
I'm going to see if I can't make something here really quick so you can see the
Yeah, we gotcha. Heather loves you, Dan. Let's
Nice.
see. The rain in Walton County is going to become storms around 4 a.m., says Trish. We'll see. I mean, it's there's been nothing that's going on up there right now, but it could move into obviously a juicier atmosphere that's east that's supporting these thunderstorms over Bay County. So we'll keep an eye on them. But I have a feeling they're going to probably not get going enough before they're out of Walton County. Are we expecting more storms after this? No, I do not think so. The back edge of the rainfall is up here. So right here is kind of the back edge of the rainfall in Walton County, and that's it. So, you know, as we did earlier, Dan did earlier, it gave the all clear for Escambia Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties. Walton County just has some periods of heavier rainfall across the central part of the county. The only thunderstorms that we have right now are in Bay County, almost exclusively in Bay County, where it's been just raining cats and dogs. We do still have thunderstorms up north of Dothan. Those are moving over into Early County and over towards Blakely, Colquitt, Colquitt County, or Calhoun County, I think, west of Albany. And then we have like Randolph. My Georgia geography is getting a little squirrely up there, but anyway, so we're going to see these thunderstorms move out of Alabama. Not thunderstorm activity here, just some periods of heavy rain. And then the only thunderstorms right now are all in Bay County here at 12:45 this evening. It's not severe, so it's important to note that, but that doesn't matter. That I'm sure we have a lot of people watching us that are like, what was that? That have been awakened by these thunderstorms. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us this evening. This is kind of what Panhandle weather is all about. We're going to just own weather coverage. It's what we do. And no news for the most part. We try and stay out of that. We're just going to focus on weather. You see there's the heavy rainfall up near Youngstown, down through Bayou George now, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach. But you see Panama City Beach, things are beginning to kind of clear out here. You know, we have the east end of the beach, so if you're down towards like Bay Point and Delwood Road, that area, it's still raining, obviously, very heavily, but the back edge of the rain now is beginning to clear out towards Pier Park and out over into the east end of the beach. So almost down right now near Middle Beach Road. You know, we're seeing the back edge of the rainfall there, and then this will just continue to slide to the east. But that's bringing heavy rainfall, Panama City, over into Parker. We'll finally get some rainfall in here, and we're seeing it over into Callaway as well. As far as up into Lynn Haven, you're probably not too terribly far away from maybe getting a break from the heavy rainfall that you've had. So right now it's a little bit lighter, and maybe you could get briefly heavy once more, but you see this is all this mess over here. All this drier air is moving into Lynn Haven here very, very shortly. Okay, Gracie's on Deerwood Ave and Bayou George, and it's pretty noisy out. Laura Barrett, I just rescued a pup last week, and he is going crazy. Oh, goodness. It's pouring at Deer Point Lake. Good. Kelly's happy about the rain at Deer Point Lake.
So there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
The radar's a little bigger now.
I like that. Less us, more radar.
Good stuff. This thing in the Gulf right now is still trying to get itself organized. I wonder a little bit if it's suffering kind of in the train tracks of the storms ahead of it, and as it starts to, you can almost see it's starting to just kind of rotate around an axis, like out from underneath of that previous cell that moved on shore. So maybe over towards Tyndall Air Force Base, going to move on shore, maybe just south of Callaway and Parker. That one will turn into a bit more of a thunder lightning producer as it enters a bit of the unused or more unstable atmosphere down in that area.
You can see some more showers developing over eastern parts of Bay County, over into East Bay. A little bit of rainfall over towards Mexico Beach, now beginning to move on shore. But yeah, that's starting to try and ramp up at least a little bit there, and will be something that they need to kind of keep an eye on. Panama City, Parker, and over towards Tyndall Air Force Base as it's moving a little bit to the east, and we can actually do a, let's see, track on that. And, well, of course, it doesn't come over any land areas quite yet.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Such a shame it's tied to speed and you can't draw a distance and then tell it what speed.
Yeah. You know what? You can't. Can't you? I think you can do that. Ugh. If we here, let me take control. If you
you have the flight controls. Tyler was asking in the chat about the lightning isn't impressive with that cell offshore, but the purple's present. Obviously, guessing it's not a hail core. So I was talking. I muted my mic. I mean, 1,000 times in and out of that as I was playing with things here. But I am somewhat curious to see. I believe that is what would be called a low echo centroid, or effectively a big ball of water. Instead of, normally you get a storm with good updrafts and the water rises and freezes. It's staying low enough in the atmosphere that there's a chance that's all staying as liquefied water, and you have a big core of effectively a ton of rain. And as that continues to move on shore here, we could see very impressive rainfall totals from that, because you don't have to go through all the processes of thawing that out and turning back into rain before reaching the ground. It's basically just going to be a wall of water as it goes towards over towards the bridge there. For some reason, it must just be because it's almost 1 a.m. I can't remember the name of it, but they're trying to work on a replacement, Chris, over on Tyndall Parkway.
replacement.
I can't remember the name of that bridge. By Tyndall Air Force Base.
DuPont.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Just imagine what this coverage will look like when we get to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I'm hoping we don't have to go that long.
Yeah, that cell it's definitely an interesting case here. That's right. That's the order I have to follow. So there you see. I don't think I can draw on it.
I'm not sure. I think we tried that last time. Oh, but if you do it through vMix, you could.
Yep. So we go like that. We're making everything happen tonight. So your core of purple there, if you had that top-down view, it's obviously, you just see purple and you're like, oh, there's probably hail or a really good updraft. But this is, below 10,000 feet. So as this storm produces its updrafts, you'll see they're not all that tall. We're not getting up above 30,000 feet with our radar data here. We're keeping all of that moisture a good bit lower in the atmosphere, and that's preventing us from going through some of those processes with the moisture and allowing us to potentially see this just be a huge wall of rainfall as it comes on shore. And again, we were, I don't know what screen to press on here. We're beginning to follow this kind of swing out from underneath of that previous cell, and as it does that sort of motion, I am thinking that just into the southern part of Callaway over towards Parker, we're going to see a big old ball of rainfall, some pretty impressive rainfall rates. I think we could pull that up. That's hail. Our rainfall rate here, probably some of the highest that we've seen. There is, again, about 7.5 inches per hour. So it's almost, Chris, because of the lack of dynamics, I think, was what we're looking at here with these storms. We're able to kind of trade that out and trade out some of the traditional, by definition, severe weather for instead some of this real loud lightning and the very impressive rainfall rates. Super interesting stuff, super nerdy, but
Bay County Sheriff's
all interesting to follow.
Bay County Sheriff's Office weather stem camera, 1.81 inches of rain so far. That's right along.
That's in about
77 there.
Let me get myself reorganized over here.
You're very welcome, Heather.
Yes, as long as there's no rotation. Juliet just mentioned that in the chat, Chris. We're doing a good job of avoiding that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And
just one early cell offshore, and since then, really nothing.
now it's starting to get some of that heavy stuff, at least the heavy rainfall, kind of swinging through the southern part of Youngstown at the moment. Bayou George kind of got a second spurt of it with another burst of heavy rain sliding through again as well. And then we're really into the thick of it here in my neck of the woods, Chris. Window's a waterfall right now. And that's not even with some of the highest rainfall rates we've seen. But we're still kind of in that 3 to 4 inch per hour.
Well, at least the weeds are jumping for joy at the Nyman household.
Absolutely. Might have to mow again on Thanksgiving. That is uncalled for.
Hey, look at the waves. So at least there is some wind out there. This is destination Panama City. You can see it's raining pretty heavily right now, and definitely the water moving a little bit more.
It's getting real churned up a little further back.
Hey, excuse me. The other thing to note, you can't look up the coast and see many lights, and you can't see Panama City Beach right now because of that's how heavy it's raining.
Do we have any cameras in Callaway that we could pull in?
No, there's no Weatherspout cameras over there.
We could always do some traffic cameras.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about, let me check the Bay County traffic cameras. Bay County. There's some cameras up 231, FDOT ones.
This is probably easiest to do from my computer.
Okay, I see what you have radar full there. I was like, I'm trying to pull it up. But I have Tyndall Parkway and Cherry Street, and you can see the rainfall on the lens of the camera out there right now. So there's that one. We come down. This is Hickory Street and Tyndall Parkway. You see the cars moving along. Not a lot of traffic, obviously, out this evening. And there's...
Yeah, I have here, it's Tyndall Parkway and Ivy Road.
That's what I just...
You definitely see some, yeah.
That's what I have pulled up right now.
Never mute Chris. Get it over towards Star. The rain right now, so I doubt we're going to find.
Mm-hmm. Here you can see this is Game Farm Road and Transmitter. And 231, that camera's out. This is 390 and 231. You could definitely tell raining heavily out there right now at 231 and 390. So this camera updates every second or so, looks like. Come over into Lynn Haven. Lynn Haven in 12th. See a lot of water on the roads there, along the side of the road. Watch out, radar pop back up here in a sec.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a couple more on 23rd Street. That's always one troublesome spot with flooding concerns. This is a look right there, nobody out, but starting to fill in towards the shoulders of the roads. As you get up tomorrow morning, this will all be a long lost memory. As far as the water out of the roadways are concerned, 23rd and Harrison right there towards John Lee Nissan. You got not as bad conditions out there, just the ruts themselves, Chris, producing some of those ponds.
Yep, we're still looking at 19 strikes in the past 15 minutes in this whole view. The bulk of that lightning crossing over from Bay County into Calhoun County, kind of up near that Youngstown area, east of Youngstown. So something to keep in mind. If you're over like near Kynard, you're hearing a good bit of ruckus. Tim Barnes says the power's out on 10 Acre. And if we bring it over here, Nash, power out. There we go. So let's go now, radar, national. Here we go. You take it.
I was just trying to open that monitor back up. About 200 folks in Bay County right now are sitting in the dark at the moment. Things are a lot less exciting right now where I'm at, Chris.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Lightning's kind of moved off.
Yeah, it's
a good sleeping weather.
Yeah. Yeah, it's moving on over into to Calhoun County. You still have the flood advisory area there. But looking at that lightning, 19 strikes in this view right here, 1, 2, 3, and then a whole bunch right here. But it's also of note, there's nothing offshore with that cell we've been watching either right now.
Yeah, that one really does kind of just look like a rain dumper. And even then, it's not quite held together to the same standards as what we were looking at the last time we had a radar pulled up here. A lot more starting to fire up further south. Not going to get a great view of that with the radar up in Red Bay. But it's progressed pretty far east, Chris.
Yeah.
Going to be a different sort of event for my Forgotten Coast friends.
Yeah. I mean, this is the one cell that's showing any kind of development is the one in Bay County. Everything else is just kind of meh.
Oh.
You have some rain approaching Freeport, just north of Freeport there, on the north side of the Choctawhatchee Bay. But no lightning there.
And I would say our Baron model hasn't quite initialized accurately. Timing wise, it's still shooting for about 5 in the morning.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's been dead set for the last couple of days on that timing. Obviously, we're seeing it now.
There you go. You'll see, yeah, the showers and thunderstorms now, and then there we go. Partly cloudy skies by 11 and mid 70s is what we'll be looking at. So, you know, this is it, and we'll be off to the races when it comes to being done with the rainfall and that cool air coming in as we head through the daytime on Wednesday. Power's out.
Power's out.
East Avenue and Transmitter Road. Thank you, Flint. Yeah, that's that 200, the 200 people that are without power there.
Very lucky to be out of that, Chris.
Yeah. Here's so you see right here is Kynard, and here's all the lightning, and here's the heavy rainfall. Put this into motion. This is a 30-minute view. And I know there'll be some happy folks in Kynard with this rainfall headed in your direction. Maybe not the lightning quite as much, but you know, you'll take this rainfall. 23 lightning strikes here in the past 15 minutes, 24. So Kynard, you are about ready to get some pretty good rainfall here in just a minute. Bayou George just got some good rainfall. See your Deer Point Lake up here, Bayhead. You know, that's pretty much it though. If you're looking at Southport, you're about ready to be done with rain there. Like say Gulf Coast State College North Bay campus, rainfall's about ready to be done there. Southport, Lynn Haven, you're very close. The heavier rain east of Lynn Haven, and then lighter rainfall to the west. And you see Panama City Beach beginning to clear out on the east end of the beach. We still have some rainfall down near Biltmore Beach and down towards Bay Point, but that's all beginning to clear out as well. And that big rainfall producer offshore just kind of beginning to or continuing to fizzle. So you can kind of follow it here over the past 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just looking on the meso-analysis site for the Storm Prediction Center. And, I mean, this has been a lot of rain. This thing's could be down into the southeastern part of Bay County. I was also noticing, just an observation, that where that heaviest rain is coming, kind of east of 231 south of Youngstown, it's starting to just pick up a little more eastward momentum at the moment. Kind of trying to surge towards a little bit better juice. Obviously, though, if we take ourselves back 6 hours ago and look at that Storm Prediction Center outlook, this whole thing shifted out of where that marginal risk range was. It's not to say it's impossible to see anything strong still try to materialize tonight, but we're certainly moving away from the best ingredients and the best factors of where that could have possibly happened.
Yep, that's you see that heavier rainfall now east of 231, but as Dan was saying, not necessarily as intense as what it was. But we should see that heavy rain threat moving out of Bay County here, relatively shortly. You could see up into Walton County some of the heavier rainfall. This is passing just north of Freeport, probably up towards the Rock Hill Road area along 331. But that's the last batch. You're done. After that, Walton County, as far as there's not going to be any other additional storms that develop. You could really just kind of see that as your line of the haves and have-nots, or the line of where it's no longer a chance and where it is, and it's just pushing east. And then the one thing sticking out like a sore thumb is that right there, which is now moving into Calhoun County, and some of that heavier rainfall.
So you can definitely see there. We have a lot less of that, south-southwest motion. Now, hopefully means we'll be able to nudge this through everybody else's areas. You talk about places like Calhoun County or Gulf County or even into Liberty County. It'll move a little more quickly for you, so you don't have to deal with that prolonged rainfall. Obviously, the lightning, though, is starting to pick up maybe just a little bit there, Chris, towards the southern corner of that cell.
35 lightning strikes now, 33.
So as we look towards Bluntstown or Kynard, it's a non-zero chance of things getting a bit noisy.
Yeah.
I am probably ready to pull the trigger on this, though, Chris. We can give the Holmes County folks a go-to-bed advisory.
Okay, nice.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy your sleep. I don't see any risk of weather heading your way. And Walton County will probably get the same here in another 10 minutes or so. That's really over towards Red Bay.
Yeah, along 81. And there's no lightning in there. Okay, they're going to allow the special marine warning to expire right now at 1:15 now this morning. So you'll see this orange box drop off here in just a minute, which would leave us with just the flood advisory for Bay County. And the good news with that, relatively good news, is that that rain is now beginning to come to an end across Bay County.
So this is Trish asking about an extension of the future cast out till 4 in the morning. Models have obviously had a really tough time with how to pull all of this together. Kind of a bunch of different ingredients that were in place, but no real clear pathway as to how those storms would fire. It was very hit or miss in nature in the forecast leading up to this, and her right now showing basically nothing, even in the current point in time, not initializing correctly, so that error gets carried further down the road. And that's kind of what we're running into with this line of storms, with all the models at this point, probably, Chris, is they're all kind of carrying those errors until we get to the next run, and we'll have to kind of nowcast things
Yeah.
as a result of that. But this cell itself, with its current position, starting to see the worst of the weather. That's where you're seeing all of the lightning, the potential for us to see kind of the more intense, noisy, heavy rainfall sort of weather. That's up here into the southwestern corner of Calhoun County and continuing to move. It was kind of moving in this direction, if you remember when we
Yep.
started streaming, but getting to pick up on more of a motion in this direction, which would obviously help further this departure and make it happen a little more quickly. And behind that, you have these little popcorn sort of cells hanging out. They're not going to be any sort of problem, just some much needed rainfall for places like Weewa, where you got some distant thunder. You can see those kind of popping up in and around Weewa-Hitchka. Further south of that, still at least couple of shots at some heavy rainfall as you look towards Cape San Blas. Maybe taking direct aim at Port St. Joe here, Chris, is some heavy rain, but we're not picking up on any lightning within that, which is a sign that there aren't really any strong updrafts, and with that, probably not a risk of any strong to severe in that area.
That southern extent of the line just hasn't done anything. It's just that one batch that moved into Bay County, and voila, there you go. You get a whole bunch of rainfall there this evening. Several inches of rainfall, which is amazing considering like the rainfall forecast was like hundredths of an inch to maybe no rainfall, and maybe on the high end a quarter of an inch. But everything just lined up right to get that training. And when you get training, you're going to pick up a lot of rainfall very, very quickly. Rotation detector not seeing anything. Velocity not anything. But there's a lot of lightning in southern Calhoun County right now. But most of Panama City Beach is now done with the rainfall, with the exception of areas east of Thomas Drive. Lynn Haven, you're pretty much done with the rainfall. Southport, you're done with the rainfall.
Starting to see here now, Chris. This is one of the taller storms that I've seen tonight. This is your 40,000 foot line right there that I've drawn on in VMix here. And there's at least one or two spots within there that you're seeing a pretty well sustained updraft. That's why things are getting pretty noisy as you get towards Scott's Ferry there and Bluntstown. You're probably hearing it off in the distance, a couple of strikes nearby as well. But this cell's been happy to produce lightning. It just hasn't done anything else but lightning and a lot of heavy rain, which is generally ideal. I mean, all of these places that you're seeing these real bright bands of lightning at the moment were all places that needed rain. We're not quite filling in the area up here where you had the extreme drought, but at least down here where you had the down here you had moderate drought and then severe drought. Should be a 3. We'll be able to try to get something back towards the totals that we need to claw out of those conditions. We'll make a huge dent in terms of the spatial coverage, Chris.
But
at least a couple of neighborhoods.
Yeah, you'll see maybe some improvement in parts of Bay County. But I think the next update from the drought monitor comes out tomorrow, and that
they would have drawn it yesterday.
They would have drawn it yesterday. But I think there's potential next Thursday that we could get rainfall Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so maybe next Thursday there could be some improvement when it comes to that.
Yeah, Scott's Ferry right now. If it doesn't move directly through Scott's Ferry, the loudest part of this thunderstorm is going to pass by just to the south. So basically, no difference made as far as what you're going to be hearing here for maybe 30, 45 minutes, Chris. I don't know how much to sell. I don't know how much to sell that east sort of movement now as this starts to pick up speed. I don't want to commit to telling you, hey, 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes from now, you're like, hey, I'm still tired of hearing this, but at least faster than what we saw in Bay County as this storm continues.
Did you see the comment from Bianca? She's in Scott's Ferry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Talking, basically, we'll have a direct conversation with Bianca here. It is going to get even louder with this moving either directly through where you live or just south of it. Either way, if it's consistent with what we had in my neighborhood, it's loud. It's a window shaker for sure.
And the amount of lightning now up to 44 strikes, which is higher than what we've seen throughout most of the evening.
I want to say briefly we got up a little higher than that. Yeah, 48, 47. And that's, this storm's also probably the tallest we've seen it in an hour or so.
So we zoom in a little bit more. We get Kynard. Kynard's, you're getting it right now.
Right underneath of it.
Yep, you're right underneath of it. Oh. Let's bring it back over the river here. There we go. Those are some of the rainfall totals over the past 3 hours. That's the dual pole. Okay, the dual pole.
I could pull in slightly lower totals. Radar estimates might be a bit high just based on that storm structure, Chris. Obviously, we'll maybe put a post out on Facebook asking everybody what they got on their rain gauges.
Well, no, because we had the Bay County Sheriff's Office had like 1 point.
That's true. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Jeff, I think Callaway at this point, you've got the all clear. It's obviously still raining quite heavy, but there's nothing out there that would worry me. In fact, at my house now, about 3 miles north of you, it is completely quiet. So you're good to go to bed and enjoy, hopefully, at least 6 hours of sleep. I know tomorrow is still not quite Thanksgiving, so we don't have to, or we can't bet on people being off yet, Chris, unfortunately. We're losing sleep just as we're trying to sputter into the holiday.
Let's see. I was trying to think.
And then I know there's some folks watching from Washington County. Obviously, some heavy rain here. You still have those higher reflectivity values, although a little closer to our site as well, being right on top of it at the moment. This little bit of rainfall has been slow to move and hasn't really done much of anything. We haven't seen any lightning within that so far this evening. It's kind of just slowly meandering off a little closer to the cold front that's probably getting close now to moving back through parts of Mobile and crossing over I-65 through Alabama. So that's that last little sputter of rain that we have, all kind of advanced ahead of the cold front now, just like you've seen up towards Dothan and parts of southwest Georgia, or maybe a little closer to I-75 now. If we were to change radar sites here, we're still seeing some of that pretty decent heavy rainfall, but certainly less lightning than down here
Yeah.
in the Panhandle.
Yeah, there
We switch back to
2.2 inches of rain at the Bay County Sheriff's Office. They are at 1.77 at FSU Panama City. Panama City Beach Sports Complex, 1.5 inches of rainfall.
And I switched back now, Chris, to the Red Bay radar from Tallahassee, which was overselling this a good amount. That's just about nothing at this point.
Yeah, and nothing up at the Eakin Find a pumping station. The water treatment plant, 2.29 inches of rain. So, yeah, there was a pretty good swath there. Okay, Jeff Timpson says under an inch in Callaway. Thank you very much.
I need to get a rain gauge. It's criminal to not have one.
I have.
And this be my job.
Well, if we can make money doing this, we might be able to buy you a Cocoa Raws gauge.
New iPhone first would be helpful. So there you see the lightning downtrend happening at the moment with this. And the storm cycled a couple of times, so I wouldn't say that that puts that cell to bed. But it's kind of becoming almost like its own little environment there, Chris. It's raced away from the other activity, and it'll be quickly crossing Liberty County and over towards Quincy and Tallahassee probably by 3:15 this morning.
I think probably Jackson, Calhoun, Walton County, and Bay County, to be honest, are probably all done with the weather. So, yeah, we still have some rain in Bay County, but there's nothing with lightning, no thunderstorms, nothing in Washington County, just some rain. Looks like the bulk of it's gone past, of the thunderstorms passing south of Mariana. So it's pretty much at this point Calhoun, Liberty, maybe Gulf County.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll see what we can pull together down there, but that down towards what would eventually move through Indian Pass, St. George Island, all that stuff out in the Gulf, that looks a lot more consistent with that 1/10 of an inch model output that we've been seeing for the last 4 days.
Yeah, you'll get downpour for 10 minutes and that's about it.
Might commit to switching over to the Tallahassee radar for this one.
Yeah. It's right along 71 and 73 is where the heaviest of the rainfall is. Gaskins to Kynard.
Yeah, Kynard's starting to come out the other end of this. I'm not going to say the lightning will be done or the thunder will be finished, but that heaviest rainfall is now moving a little further toward the east. This one will be crossing the Apalachicola River here pretty soon, and probably just skirt south of Bluntstown and Bristol, which is a bit unlucky. Have you driven through there recently for any of the FSU games?
Oh, yeah.
It's been looking dry.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Real dry.
And we're going to get a camera on the river there. We're working on that now. which I'll be thrilled to have there in Bluntstown.
Oh, look at that. Lightning down to 17 strikes. It's not the be-all, end-all, but it is a good sign. And we'll wish Jeff a good night, Chris. Currently, there is no way to donate to Panhandle Weather. We're trying to support ourselves through advertising. I think Chris's wife is also working on some T-shirts and hats, but we'll move a little more slowly on that. The main priority right now is to just get into a rhythm with consistently producing this sort of content, and I think if we continue to do our jobs, everything else will work out for us.
Yes. Yep. I don't even sweat it a little bit. Like, I mean, it's just it. We're going to own weather, and that's the way it's going to be. So unless you hate either one of us, like, we're going to be the only option for you. So if you want,
there's some people I used to race against that might feel that way.
but yeah. So this is what we want to do, and it's only going to get better. But here we are, tracking sub-severe storms at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday morning.
I have sweatpants on.
And Dan has
fantastic.
Dan has sweatpants on, and I got a cat in here, and but it's all good.
Allie's asking about Santa Rosa Beach. I don't know if you're dropping in here for a quick view, Allie, but we're all good in Santa Rosa Beach.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't feel like watching weather coverage, get yourself to bed and enjoy the rest of this night. Thunder's calming down in Scotts Ferry. That's good to hear.
Thank you.
I like the trend I'm seeing with that storm. Obviously, there's still some out there, but
11 in the past 15 minutes, less than 1 a minute. So
I have to remember what we set our color table to, as which color strikes are positive and which ones are negative.
Oh, if here, I can pull that up. Ugh. So let me take over real quick.
You've got the mouse.
And we are.
And a good night to Laura.
So positive is the yellow, and negative would be the white, which is the inverse of what you would normally expect. Typically, is that you have more negative and fewer positive. The positive strikes are typically more dangerous because they're from higher up into the thunderstorm. So they're a little more powerful. A lot of times fatal lightning strikes tend to be positive lightning strikes. Also, when you hear the phrase like bolt out of the blue, that's generally because coming from a positive lightning strike that's higher up in the thunderstorm, and when it strikes, it's out and away from the thunderstorm as opposed to, say, like underneath the base of it. So Bluntstown's going to get kind of left out on this. You're hearing all the ruckus. You're getting a teeny bit of rain, but that's about it.
And what's left of all of those stronger, or at least heavier rainfall cells in the Gulf, you've got some moderate rain kind of moving in towards Mexico Beach right now. Going to pass just to the north there, and then St. Joe Beach, you'll get probably a shot of 10 minutes of rainfall. South of that, we'll kind of keep an eye out in this area. Nothing there. Looks even close to what you might typically see in an afternoon thunderstorm. A very quick burst of rain. If you time it just right and the eyelids get heavy just before it hits, you'll fall asleep in about 10 seconds with this rain that you're seeing down towards Gulf County, or at least the southern part of Gulf County right now.
Thank you very much, Laura. Go hit the sack. We're not going to be far behind you here. I think things are winding down. At least maybe enough that I'll be able to sleep on the carpet country carpet here in the studio, and keep one eye on the radar while I catch a few Z's.
I feel really good about what I'm seeing. I've just jumped onto another monitor here, and I'm just checking on through some of the severe weather indices, making sure we're not going to get caught by surprise and by anything a little further towards the east.
And the general thinking was that, you know, it was going to be weaker as it moved east. The cat.
Just heard the cat in one of my ears. So we've now crossed, Chris, from right along the coast, about 2,000 joules per kilogram of Cape, to we're now less than 1,000 where this storm currently sits.
What's wrong?
Pull the cat up.
Yeah. Oh, he's just going to hang around by my feet here. I think he senses that it's done raining here and he wants to go look for mice.
So we've dropped down to 5 strikes with this one. Take a quick tour. No wind, like virtually no wind.
And then the flood advisory goes until I think 2:30 in the morning, but the rainfall in the flood advisory is pretty much done. Yeah. Yep.
Completely dry. So it's just this, which is spatially shrunk by about 40% from where it was when it entered Calhoun County. Lightning's dropped off by about 80% in that time frame. We're down, kind of hovering between 4 and 8 strikes every 5 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm. Bianca says the heavy rains arrived in Scotts Ferry. Yep.
So we kind of interpolate from that. We're kind of looking right towards the Leon-Wakulla County line as that eventual track of this straight through the heart of Liberty County. I haven't driven up through there recently. We'll kind of pick up on Liberty, Mosquito Landing, Gun Landing.
Gaskins. The Gaskins boat ramp there.
I might need to take some time tomorrow to add Scotts Ferry.
Did not show up?
I've been trying to zoom in, but not too much. I haven't been able to
There's Frank.
pop it in here. And we're down to Weewa. Yeah, so we'll add that to the to-do list.
Is and that thunder, the heaviest of the rain, because it's passing south of 20, there's not going to be a whole lot out there. There's some.
Yeah, we kind of have to work through like Liberty Community. Should pass south of Hosford. It'll be close. I forgot we have this data, so you can really see what we're working with. A lot of trees. Reminds me of the Wharton State Forest back home in New Jersey.
There's some houses right up there at the bend in the river there.
Right here?
Yep. See, there's a few homes up there right along the river. Estefanuga? Ulga? I'm not sure. That's a new one for me.
I've heard it once before.
Ulga.
I don't have the confidence to try it. How about Marysville? I like that one.
Yes.
Some questions and comments as well, Chris, about heavy downpour, long period in Thomas Drive in Panama City Beach, and then a follow-up about Alf Coleman. A whole lot of rainfall. We did briefly have a flood advisory, but we saw everything move through quickly enough that we haven't really seen proper flooding, just some minor road impacts, and now all of the bad weather has kind of moved off and headed off towards the east, so all is good out on the beach. Some much needed, slightly more than forecast rainfall for the immediate coast, and we will wake up to some sunshine tomorrow there with no impacts all the way through the first half of the weekend.
So it's a, let's see, hold on. Comes from the Creek language. It means all people's bones. Let's see. Unincorporated Liberty County. Elevation 59 feet. They have a boat ramp, obviously, there on the river. Hold on. A community and boat ramp in Liberty County. If anyone calls it by its proper Indian name, locals will get funny looks on their faces. Refer to it as stiff and ugly. Like that's from the Tallahassee Democrat. Stiff and ugly. Okay. I see it though. Man, I learn something every day.
Put that right next to the low echo centroid of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's looking a lot more like a rain producer than a big towering thunderstorm right now, obviously, with very little thunder and lightning present at the moment. Feels like we're getting right to the point where we'll be able to fire off maybe a panhandle wide all clear, tentatively speaking.
Yeah, it's there's nothing. They got rain in Washington County, but no lightning. Only lightning is in Calhoun County. Nothing's fired off down in Southern Bay or over into Gulf County yet.
Yeah, and if I pull back the Red Bay radar, that stuff in Washington County is kind of fool's gold compared to what Tallahassee was showing.
Yeah.
does look like. This is probably not new to you, but news to me. It looks like they dropped another dense fog advisory in advance of this rain.
Yeah, I can see that. That air mass is super soupy.
Yeah, relative humidity at Tallahassee right now. Let's see. Temperature of 70, dew point of 69.4 at the airport, Chris.
Jeez. So dew points are actually a little bit lower to the east, and then we're sky high here. And then you see that drier air mass. '50s into the '60s. And still, we have in Bay County 200 power outages. And just 6 lightning strikes here in the past 15 minutes. When we were up, at one point closer to 50 lightning strikes, now down to 5. And, that rain's about ready to move out of Calhoun County, Bay County. We already gave the all clear for Bay County for severe weather. And I think once that crosses out of Calhoun into Liberty, then we'll be able to clear that. And I'm not too far away from clearing Gulf County because there's nothing.
It's all stratiform.
Yeah. And if that's the case, Franklin's going to be in that same line.
Yeah, that's starting to pull together and look somewhat similar to what we saw move through like North Georgia this morning. Very, very thin line of showers that took maybe 6 or 7 minutes to move through any single spot in its path. That's speaking specifically about like Southern Gulf and Franklin County. This looks like it's about it, Bianca. Um, these storms are kind of what's left of the energy ahead of the front, and then there's just kind of a lag behind with the actual front itself to pass on through. But we're not going to have really much time at all after the sun rises to reset the atmosphere and get ourselves back any sort of storm energy before the actual front moves throughout the day. It'll be breezy out there tomorrow, like non-thunderstorm winds, I think 10 to 15 miles per hour, a gust occasionally up to 20 miles per hour throughout the afternoon. So certainly not the worst wind we've ever seen for a clear sunny day, but it'll be something you notice rustling around the leaves on the trees. But once we get through this, a little bit of rainfall, that should be just about it for this specific system, and we'll wait until the back quarter of the weekend, maybe Sunday night, for another opportunity. I have to say, Chris, looking at how all of this rain is behaving east of 231. Pretty pretty incredible forecast from the Storm Prediction Center with where they drew that marginal risk polygon.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had someone ask me earlier about like, well, because like the line like literally went through Panama City. I'm like, that could be frustrating sometimes just because like, people need to understand it's not a magic line of like, here's where severe weather is possible and here's where it's not. I mean, it's like when we say inland and coast, there's definitely like a ramp up and and so it just
There should be a gradient, I would argue.
that would be completely fair because the average person doesn't understand that like you can have severe weather outside of that and there's nothing that's magical in Callaway that protects it from Panama City Beach because they happen to be inside the the shading or whatever. But it did.
The other thing that I think could be confusing.
It ran right along the line though, which is like the point. Like folks that were technically not in it, got a bunch of rain and a lot of lightning and heavy rainfall. I go, although in the way it's technically not severe, but like the average person doesn't understand that, which is why we do what we do, because we're here to cover it, even if it's not severe. But like over in Panama City, it was obviously Panama City Beach, you were in the shading area. And we're down to one strike.
I think we've seen these storms through to the end.
Yeah. I think that's it, my friends. There's nothing here.
We'll fire that one up for you, Chris. I'm really confident with putting that on the screen.
Oh, I didn't know you did one for the whole area.
Yeah, so 2 o'clock in the morning right now, these continue to wane out in intensity. Temperatures will fall by another 3 or 4 degrees, which should hypothetically continue to hurt storm potential. And they'll move east of what we would typically cover here on Panhandle weather long before the sun rises and rising temperatures become any sort of threat of reigniting storm activity. So we're in the clear right now. Just a nice, light, steady rainfall for most, and a few pockets of a little more moderate rain within those red colors you're seeing. But the storms themselves have collapsed. They're not growing all that high in the atmosphere, so we don't have the updraft energy to really worry about. It's just a good little soaking of maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain from here on out, places that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I mean, if something happens, we'll of course jump back in, but like Dan said, I think we're done. But this is what Panhandle weather is all about, and it's only going to get better. But we appreciate you for the time that you gave us this evening. If you're interested in the weather and the beauty of this, if you didn't care about it, you didn't have to watch. You can carry on with whatever you were doing. But we appreciate everyone that's been supporting us and encourage businesses to advertise with us. If you have a business and are interested in advertising, you can send us a message, sales@panhandleweather.com. We will talk. But for now, this is it. And it should be quiet through Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday. Next chance of rain isn't until Sunday. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And thanks for tuning in.